Sharks. My name is Noah.
And my name is Yuki.
We're recent college grads, and we're here seeking $200,000 in exchange for 10% of our company, Plufl.
Sharks. We all have those long days where we crave a cozy nap to get away from the troubles of the world.
When you just need a break from the stress and exhaustion, you could quite literally sleep anywhere.
I mean, look at our buddy Kip over here.
Sharks, don't you find yourself jealous of Kipper, able to nap literally wherever he wants?
Don't you ever wish you could have what Kipper has?
Well, now you can.
Introducing Plufl. It's a dog bed for humans.
That's right, Sharks. Plufl
coming.
is the world's first dog bed specifically designed for humans.
Because if you work like a dog, why not sleep like one?
When you sink into the Plufl, you're surrounded by the softest materials and textures.
The soft pillow border allows you to tuck your hands and feet inside and maximize what we like to call the snuggle factor.
The plush faux fur and high-grade orthopedic and memory foam allow you to turn any place into a napping space. Doesn't he look cozy? I wouldn't want to wake him up. Sharks, we want to bring this revolutionary napping experience everywhere. So don't sleep on this opportunity to join us in building a napping empire.
All right, so
Who wants to try out the Plufl?
I do. Yeah, I want to touch it.
Robert, we figured you would really want to try it
I
out.
definitely
You as well,
wanna
Lori?
try
No,
it.
Come on, anyone? Give it a go. All right.
you're such a Robert.
Robert, would you like a blanket?
Yes, I would like a
Mark,
blanket.
here, lay in this one.
Robert, try curling up a little bit, like a little baby.
Shockingly, it's
No, I'm
really
not gonna jump.
comfortable.
Mark, give it a go.
Let's see if I can fit.
Pull right up. You can put your legs out.
Yeah, kind of lean your arms on it, kind of relax, lounge a little bit. Yeah.
It's actually
hug
not
it.
bad. It's not
Oh
bad.
yeah, Robert.
Wow, how much is it?
It's $3.99. Currently taking pre-orders at $3.99.
$399?
Yeah, $399.
Oh, okay.
What does it cost you to make?
Our landing cost is $140.
Oh, wow.
And you must have sales.
Yes, we do. 3 months ago, we launched on Kickstarter. Our initial goal was $25,000. We blew it out of the water. We hit $280,000 in 30
Wow.
days, and we've done over $130,000 in sales since.
And how much of that have you delivered?
We've just started the manufacturing process.
With that being none.
So throughout our prototyping process, we've tested our versions with about 50 different beta testers, and they all absolutely loved it.
Well, I'm curious, did you used to lay in like a really big, oversized dog bed or something?
Yeah, so throughout my time at school, I worked as a barista at a local college coffee shop where there lived a Great Dane. And so one day during a long shift, I was looking at this dog napping really comfortably in its bed, and I found myself kind of jealous. Like, man, why can't that be me right now? And then I had an idea. Dog beds for humans.
Ta-da!
It's kind of a fun idea, right? I could see this being like a really like cool thing for like a kid's like play space area, right? You know, the kids can kind of just lounge. You know, a few years ago, like the kids were like, you know, younger teens were into mocking, right? They hang out together in their hammocks, right? This is kind of like that too. It's cool. They do have a couple trademark applications and registrations.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, I think it's kind of a fun idea.
I think it's fun. I think you nailed it. I think this fits the college age, right? The 20s, maybe
Yeah,
early 30s.
it's like a love sack, but lower to the ground.
Yeah. And I mean, I suppose you could fit two people in there, but it looks like it's pretty much individual use. And gosh, there's no way it's going to be as comfortable as a bed. I mean, but you know, it's better than the floor, no doubt. And I think it's got that appeal where. So how about that phrase? That was something I wanted to ask you about, Matt. They're trying to trademark this. Dog beds for humans. I think that's what they said.
Yeah.
Slogan type of a phrase.
I don't. Yeah. So they have registered human dog bed.
Okay.
Let me look at that registration because that seems really descriptive, doesn't it? To you?
It does. Yeah. Take a look at it. I'll talk patents while you take a look at that.
Perfect.
So they did mention they filed a provisional, and for those that don't know what that means, is it's a placeholder. And it's a less formal version of an application that you can file in the US. And what's cool about it is it allows you to write a really nice broad disclosure of your invention. You can include figures, but you're not restricted in terms of what formal drawings or putting specific claim structure or detailed description. It's just whatever you want to put in there that fully enables the invention. And it does allow you up to a year to make iterations. Like Eliza was saying, things that can change over time. And refine it, build it, manufacture it, and get it just right, and then put those details into the non-provisional. So I did look them up, and they actually are published, but they have not gotten a granted patent yet on their application. They're thinking really big. These young entrepreneurs, they filed what's called a patent cooperation treaty application, which is an international placeholder. So they filed the provisional, and they filed the PCT. So they're eligible now to file in any member country of that treaty. It's 150 countries. So they have not yet filed in the national phase. It's still likely being evaluated at the United States, which was their designated research. But you can save a bunch of money that way. You can have basically one examiner search on behalf of all of those countries, and you get the benefit in not having to pay for a search at all those countries. So
no, I didn't know that. I didn't know that's how it worked. Okay, that's cool.
That's how it worked. Yeah. What did you find on their trademark side on that?
Yeah. So they did disclaim the word bed.
Okay.
Which I still thought to myself, like, what's going on with this? Why a human dog bed? That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
They're on the supplemental database.
Ah.
So that's it, right? So for those who aren't familiar with trademark law in the United States, there's the principal database, and then there's the secondary, right, or supplemental database. Principal is kind of like the varsity. It's what you want to be on. It's what's enforceable in federal district court. Supplemental, secondary register basically means that the trademark over time has the potential to become distinctive of the product. So in this particular case, the USPTO says it's pretty descriptive, but we think if you're in the market long enough and you create enough interest in secondary meaning in the product and the trademark, we think you could potentially register as a federal principal database registration.
So it's not like an outright no, sorry, you're out. It's now.
Yeah, here's like just a consolation prize for your efforts, right? But the good news is when it's time to renew this trademark for human dog bed, instead of renewing the trademark, the attorney of record could choose to just resubmit the application after 5 years of use and make a secondary acquired distinctiveness argument, secondary meaning argument, meaning that even though it's descriptive, it's become, through exclusive use of the brand and, kind of unsolicited reviews and things like that's become synonymous with the product itself.
Right. All right. Taking a break from patents and trademarks and IP, Eliza, from your perspective, being in the industry of sleep, if you will, sleeping, what's your take on the pitch from these two young gents?
I think it's very creative. The only issue I had, and I hate that I had one at all, but it seemed like a primary part of their pitch was that it's a portable bed. You can nap anywhere. And it seemed a little encumbersome. Like it was very large. And I know that it folded up, but I can't imagine like bringing that around with me to work so it seems like if that's kind of a premise they're going with, that it's the portable bed, I would think that it should fold up again, maybe into like a square. But in general, it did look very comfortable. I won't lie. And hopefully it just fits all body sizes. That's what I had to go through with Spherehead is not everyone's spine is the same distance off the mattress. So if you want to keep spine alignment, you have to consider weights of heads and bodies. And so that was the other thought I had when watching it is, does this fit all the body types that we have, especially if it's around the world? But obviously not every product's going to be for everyone. And I wish them the best of luck. Like I said, it's definitely, I agree with you. It's for a certain age, perhaps, but better than the floor. I loved that comment.
That's a really good comment you made, though. And I think that's something we should spend a little bit of time on. I worked at Boeing for a while, and while I didn't do any of the designing for the seats, for example, I know they actually have a pretty specific criteria where they want to have, the seat where between the 5% of people by height and weight and 95%, right? So they're covering that huge chunk of 90% of most human beings. Did you go through some detailed analysis with respect to the Spherehead and think about, okay, what's the smallest head possible? Smallest adult head. Maybe this is going to fit all, but maybe the smallest of heads. And how did you go about sizing it?
Oh, no, absolutely. And I'll be honest, children use the Spherehead pillow too. I have a 2-year-old nephew who sleeps on it and a 6-year-old, my aunt's niece, so no relation there, but she loves it as well. So children can use the sphere head pillow. For me, it was really heavier heads or larger skulls. That is really what I needed to make sure was a target audience that could fit inside of the sphere head pillow. And I just accomplished that by prototyping. I targeted that audience mainly just to make sure that they found it comfortable, and could still move. And thankfully, this prototype, I feel, does suffice across the board. But like I said, it won't obviously be for everyone, but I'm hoping that maybe, like you said, the 5 to 95% of people who try it out, hopefully they find it just as comfortable.